Any other questions from council?
You wanna go?
Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, there's a couple I have, so. I'm concerned regarding the alleyways being a real problem, especially for emergency services. People, you have a lot of parking, it's great. People in nature have it. They're not gonna park all the way in the parking lot down here to go to somebody's house when they're having a party. It's gonna be an issue with blocking traffic. And then my second thing with that same concern is are some of these inner roadways and the police department, they have like no real front access. And are these gonna be numbered in the rear with some kind of easy rear access to the property? I mean, they're to me, this is a row home in Philadelphia with some grass around it. I mean, I'm opposed to it. I don't like these cluster homes. I'd much rather see a townhouse. But I just have some concerns about these alleyways and the access to the front. There's the lack of access, street frontage access to the houses. And you don't have to address them now. We'll see them in the plans and we can talk about it. But there are a couple issues that I have with the inner circle of the development part of it. The last thing was looking at this, and is this being a concept of the way it's being proposed with PennDOT, is the right in, right out only on Plymouth Road?
We have to have PennDOT. In fact, that's one of the things that we spent a lot of time on before we changed the plan around. On Plymouth Road, and this is proposed Drive G that we're talking about.
Yep.
It is actually right out, left out. It's not an in.
Right. I saw that. That was another question. I was talking about the main marquee entrance.
Oh, the main marquee entrance. That is a right in, right out, and actually that's what PennDOT wants to see there.
Okay.
Because of the proximity to the intersection,
Okay.
the queue length on Plymouth Road comes back beyond it, and Fran Haney and I met, and he didn't want to see cars trying to weave through the traffic to get on the other side of Plymouth Road to head, I guess it would be westbound.
Right. I agree with that. I just want to make sure that's what PennDOT.
Absolutely.
You proposed that PennDOT was just a concept.
Yep.
The last one, I guess, I'm a little confused. You don't own the two properties, but you're going through the two of them?
Well, no, we own this strip where the proposed road is being shown.
Okay.
That's absolutely part of the property. We talked to the homeowners at length about trying to acquire the properties. The property to the west, Brian Bowe, he explained to me that he's just not in a position to sell his house. I don't think it was a personal business, he just can't sell it. And the property to the east, Mrs. Quarry, we've been talking to her for years. And while she was rezoned with this property, so she wasn't singled out, the number that they want for the property, it just doesn't work.
Oh, okay.
And we've tried hard.
I had heard some rumors that people were crazy down there because they thought they were gonna make millions, but I just, whatever the case may be with either property, I have a problem with going through the center of a house's development like this. We had a big issue with this in Black Horse years ago, and it's, the feeling is that you're putting a road between somebody's house. I mean, it's just not, there's no other way to move it to the other side, do something else with it, it's just.
Well, the issue is that we have to be able to get westbound on Plymouth Road. And PennDOT wants to see the access to Plymouth Road ideally across from where Brandywine was talking about proposing their entrance, which is right in line with this exit only. So that's how we ended up where we were. And we've graded it so as that we don't disturb the property, and we've left enough room on either side of the drive so that we can plant a hedgerow so that they don't have any lights to deal with. I've talked with both of them, and if they end up wanting to have an access to that drive, we're going to grant it to them. It's totally up to them, and we'll put it in for them. I understand your concern, and I
still
won't
think it's right.
I won't disagree with you. It's not the ideal, but
I'm not happy with it either, but I don't think I'd want a road between my house and my neighbor's house.
well, that's why we offered to buy the property.
I understand,
Yeah.
yeah.
There was no way to move the marquee entrance down along the two of those houses to make it work?
It ended up being in a location where it wouldn't line up with what's being proposed across the street or what may be proposed. And PennDOT asked us to try and coordinate our efforts. So, and that spot
Well, my problem is
was the
there's nothing
ideal.
across the street but a field. And when they come to build it, that's their problem to line up with you.
It was,
There's
I guess
nothing
it's
there.
deeper than that. There's a site distance issue, and I'm not trying to be argumentative at
No,
all.
I understand.
There's a site distance issue where this location doesn't do a whole lot of difference aside from this location. And PennDOT said, well, you know, if you're gonna be anywhere in here, I want you to be right in, right out. We have to get that. We gotta be able to go westbound Plymouth Road. To get the blue route.
Well, there's nobody sitting at this table that would want that road between your house, under any circumstance. And I just, you know, then you just don't go right on Plymouth Road, or left on Plymouth Road. I mean, I don't know, I want somebody to sit here and tell me that they don't have a big problem with that was between their house.
Well, I guess the struggle that I run into is that we've offered market value, we've offered double.
Well, I understand that, and
at some
that's an
point,
issue.
it's, I mean, how much are you trying to, pardon, I use the term loosely, but how much are you trying to extort out of me because you know I need a road?
I understand that,
So-
I'm not disagreeing with that, but it's still a simple fact that, you know, then it's right in, right out, and there's no other access. I mean, we've done that at Victory, Victory Building and all, I just, there's, you know.
Yep.
Thank you. You have any other questions, Shelley?
No,
Mr. Eisenberg, do you have any questions?
Just a simple one. Along the berm, the sound barrier on the landscape planning and lighting design, sound would be an issue, I know in my development, or anybody's development, from a railroad, or, I know the Sun Pipeline runs along there also, the Trenton Cutoff. Is it a vegetation sound barrier, or is that what's planned from what I'm seeing?
It is vegetation, yeah. We're gonna plant some stuff that's taller than required by ordinance. And that's why we tried to push the houses as far away as possible.
Wasn't there litigation against the township regarding with the turnpike because of sound issues, the other development that was built over off of Jolly Road?
Not litigation, but not litigation, no.
Township got involved with it.
A lot of concern and a lot of efforts with senators and representatives to get sound barriers put in,
Well,
but
when people move into this development, my concern would be that they're gonna come back to the township and say, I hear trains going by at 3 o'clock in the morning, which they do.
Well, yeah. Point well taken. I can tell you, living in Hillcrest Glen,
Mm-hmm.
I hear the train, and I'm not against it, I'm against the blue route.
I'm with you.
It's something that we'll absolutely make everybody aware of. I mean, it would be in the documents and full disclosure, and
Something to look at.
we're not gonna cut around it.
As much as you can put there
Yeah.
would be,
The buffer that we're showing, it's meant to do two things. The one that's immediately against that road that runs closest to the railroad in the basin,
mm-hmm.
that's a pretty heavy hedgerow that's meant so that when you're driving, you're not looking at the railroad from a visual perspective. And then the trees that you see in here are gonna be, you know, initially planted in the 8 to 12 foot range, and then, you know, would grow over time, similar to what we did across the Cold Point Manor.
No further questions, Mr. Chairman.
railroad's elevated, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
No other questions from council? Thank you, Mr. Payne, we'll discuss it. Have
Okay.
time to be in touch.
Thanks for your time, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is the hearing and meeting for January 11th, 7 o'clock, the official map. Karen, did you want to say anything regarding that?
Well, yeah, the meeting, you'll have a meeting and hearing at 7, you get a court reporter, that type of a thing, just on, it comes out of the MPC, that we should have an official map, and we're gonna update it. We do have copies of it here. This ordinance has been advertised properly. We're ready to go for the hearing.
Okay. Everybody okay with that?
Yes.
Okay, the next on the agenda is the citizens board resolutions. First, we have Tony Morion from the East Norton Plymouth Whitby Joint Sewer Authority. Is there anybody who's interested in taking that on the agenda? Mr. Eisenberg, you want to sign that? Patrick O'Hara, is there anybody interested in that? Asma, you'll take that also, and Frank McCreesh.
I'll do that, I share with you.
Okay, then in the public meeting, I'll ask for public comment. I'll make an announcement that we had a executive session tonight. Then I'll ask for the approval of minutes of workshop meeting on December seventh, a regular meeting on December 14th. Does council or staff have any questions regarding our meeting minutes?